Okay, we have a quick short answer here about molar solubility. And so we've got a substance, calcium hydroxide, CaOH2. The KSP is given, 1.3 times 10 to the negative 6. First, write a balanced chemical equation for the dissolution of calcium hydroxide solid in pure water. So, dissolution, we've got CaOH2 solid. And we are, this is going to be an equilibrium, right? We've got a K value, so that means this is an equilibrium. And this is a dissolution, so the ions are coming apart. So we have a calcium ion. We're going to get a calcium 2 plus ion, right? Because this is 2 plus in here. Each hydroxide is 1 minus, and there's 2 of them. So calcium must have been 2 plus. And that will be aqueous. And then we are going to have 2 hydroxide ions, and those are aqueous. So calcium hydroxide is a calcium 2 plus ion and 2 hydroxide ions. So when it dissociates, those are the ions that we get. So that's pretty straightforward. Now, calculate the molar solubility of calcium hydroxide in 0.1 molar calcium nitrate. So we have a calcium nitrate solution, and then we place calcium hydroxide solid into that calcium nitrate solution. A little bit of it is going to dissolve, and we want to know how much. Molar solubility is sort of like the moles of the formula unit that dissolve. So it's kind of like, what's the concentration of calcium hydroxide in solution in the form of calcium and hydroxide ions, of course. So KSP, we're going to need KSP here, because the KSP is telling us how much of this solid is going to dissolve, right? This is telling us to what extent the reactants or products are favored in the equilibrium. This is much, much less than 1, so the solid is dramatically favored. It's not very soluble. But exactly how much is going to dissolve? We use the KSP to find that out. So, like any other equilibrium expression, we're going to take the products over the reactants. But remember, we only use aqueous or gaseous species, so solid's not going to be in there, which means we don't even get a fraction. We just get concentration of calcium 2 plus times concentration of hydroxide squared, because we've got the 2 right there. So, how are we going to get this? Well, KSP we have 1.3 times 10 to the negative 6. That's the KSP value. Now we have to do a little bit of algebra, because we don't know what the calcium and hydroxide concentrations are going to be, but we can use a variable to do calculations, to do a calculation. So calcium 2 plus. Now we have 0.1 molar calcium nitrate. That's water soluble. So 0.10 moles per liter, 0.10 molar calcium nitrate. Each formula unit of calcium nitrate is going to produce 1 calcium ion. So we're 1 to 1 here. That means we're starting out with 0.1 molar calcium ion, right? The solution is 0.10 molar in calcium ions before we even put the calcium hydroxide in there. Then we put the calcium hydroxide in there. We get a little bit more, because a little bit of this dissolves. So we get a little more. How much more? We don't know. X more. We get X more calcium, because we have 0.10 molar from the solution, and then a little more because that dissociates. So there's that. And then if we get X calcium from the dissociation of calcium hydroxide, how much hydroxide are we going to get? Well, we're going to get 2X, right? Because for each formula unit of calcium hydroxide, we get 1 calcium and we get 2 hydroxides. So if we get X more calcium, we're going to get 2X hydroxide. And we got to square that, right? So now let's do a couple of things. Let's keep this how it is, times 10 to the negative 6. Now, we can make a simplifying assumption. The KSP is very small, right? It's about a millionth. So only about 1 in a million formula units are going to dissociate. That means that X is very, very small compared to 0.1 molar. It's so much smaller than 0.1 molar that we can actually ignore it in this term right here. Only in this term because it's a sum, not a product, right? It's a sum. So if X is 0.0001 molar, whatever it is, it's just not going to matter much. So we can treat this as just 0.1. We can lose that X right there. And then here, 2x squared, let's remember our basic arithmetic. We have to square 2 and x, so we get 4x squared. Now let's divide both sides by 0.1. Dividing by 0.1 is like multiplying by 10. And if we're multiplying by 10, this gets an order of magnitude bigger, which means instead of -6, we get 10 to the -5. So that may seem a little tricky, but remember, -6 is a smaller number than 10 to the -5, right? 10 to the -6 is 1/1,000,000th. 10 to the -5 is 1/100,000th, right? So multiplying by 10, we get 1.3 times 10 to the -5 equals 4x squared. Divide both sides by 4 and take the square root, and x is going to be 0.0018 molar. That is the molar solubility of calcium hydroxide in this calcium nitrate solution. So we do want to be able to make calculations like this. We have to know how to get the KSP expression, the correct KSP expression. And then this is maybe the tricky part where we have to rationalize, okay, I have a KSP, I have a solution that's 0.1 molar in calcium to begin with, and we get a little more calcium because some calcium hydroxide dissociates. How much more? I don't know, plus X. And if I get plus X calcium, I'm going to get 2X hydroxide because for every calcium ion, I get 2 hydroxide ions. I'm going to square it. We made that simplifying assumption because the additional amount of calcium is so tiny that we can ignore it in this term. And then we divide it by 0.1, solve, X is 0.0018 molar. So that's the molar solubility there. Then lastly, they have this other little bit. In the box below, complete a particle representation diagram that includes 4 water molecules with proper orientation around the calcium 2+ ion. And this is how we're going to draw our water molecules. So the calcium, whatever calcium dissociates, we've got calcium 2+ ions. Those can only do so if they are solvated by water molecules, right? The ion needs to be making ion dipole interactions with water molecules in order for dissociation to take place. Now we have a cation, so the positively charged ion is going to interact with the negative end of water's dipole. Which end is the negative end? The oxygen atom. Right, because the oxygen is hogging the electrons towards itself. It's more electronegative. So the oxygen side is the partial minus side. The hydrogen side is the partial plus side. So we need to draw these water molecules correctly. We need to show them like this, right? Because the oxygen end is going to be the one that's interacting with the calcium 2+. So we'll do that, and then we just have to make sure to make it very clear that the hydrogens are over here, not on this side. So I'm not the best artist of all time, but as long as you do something that looks pretty much like this, it's going to be quite clear. Get your little Mickey Mouse ears away from the calcium ion because these are the interactions that are happening. Right? Calcium 2+ is interacting with the partial minus side versus the partial plus side of the water molecule, right? Water's got a net dipole, so that's how it's going to orient. So this is a pretty cool one. We're talking about molar solubility, KSP, and a little bit of ion dipole interactions.